Hi, I'm Dan Fallu. I'm a postdoctoral researcher with the TerrACE project here at the University of Tromsø in Norway. And I'm working with geochemistry to bring everything together on the terraces to help understand how they were built, the environments under which they were constructed, and how they were used. So as a geoarchaeologist, I'll be looking at the soils of the sites and how humans change them, how soils have been transported to the site, how they've been augmented by the addition of mineral matter or organic matter. And to do this, I'll be looking at the geochemistry using a couple of methods, but essentially looking at the molecular and the elemental compositions. Different soils have different compositions, depending on whether they have things like manure in them or if they've had other soils added to increase their fertility. Soils from different places, different hills. If we know the composition, we can actually trace how they were brought to the terraces. And putting all of this together, I'll be able to help the rest of the project better assemble the history of the terrace and how it was built up over time and how people changed it to suit their needs as climate was changing or as the crops they were growing were changing. So a major challenge when we're looking at the chemistry of these soils and trying to understand past activity or environment is that lots of processes or activities can have very similar appearances in the chemistry, particularly when you look at the elemental chemistry, which we use X-ray analysis for. That's simply just because there's only so many elements, only so many chemicals, and they all play a part in creating the soils that we see. To fix that, we can use infrared analysis, which allows us through effectively shining infrared light through a sample, allows us to look at the types of molecular bonds that are within the soil or within the sediment. And by doing this, we can see how those elements are arranged, why those elements are there, and say the difference between iron oxide caused by rust and iron oxide caused by blood from an animal. These will have different molecular signatures, even though chemically, elementally, they just look like iron. And by doing this, we can get a better picture of everything all together that we wouldn't necessarily get just looking at the elements.